So your manuscript is finished. What do you do now? Well, how do I format it so that I can upload it to KDP or Books.by? What do I do? If that's where you're at in your journey, this video is for you. Hey, so welcome back to the channel. My name is JB Juke, and today I'm going to show you how I get my manuscript from Google Docs and put it into Atticus and get it formatted for uploading to KDP or Books.by or Books.by, wherever you want to use. This is the process that I use for Atticus. So I'll do all my writing in Google Docs, and I always set it up to be a manuscript. So you can see here in the header, I've got the my name, address, email address, my phone number, and the word count in the top of my document. I always do this in case I need to send a manuscript to someone that my information is on there. So that goes to the top, and then of course I have my title page. I do contents when I'm writing, but as you'll see in a minute, that I don't keep it. I don't use it whenever I upload, because Atticus, for one, automatically creates the chapters. It's easier because with this format, I have to go through, these numbers are not dynamic, so I have to go through and look and see, you know, hey, which page did this start on? It started on 31, so then I have to go back to my contents and look at that specific one and see it's wrong here. So if I'm sending it to my editor, then I'll make sure these numbers are right, just so that she can have a good reference of what page is on. But that's not very important when you're uploading it. So this is my manuscript for the Cardinal Accord, Book 2, in the Cardinal Patron series. So I got my title right here with the header on there, and then I've got my contents, and then I start my chapters. I always, and I have a page numbers on here in the footer. So I always start my chapter by changing that to a heading right here. And that creates this list on the left so that I can easily flip through the document to make changes or add things. But once I finish the manuscript, it's completely done. I don't need all of this extra stuff in here. I don't need the header. I don't need the content. So I take all of that out and save that as a new document. And so this is the document right here that I will upload to Atticus. It's got everything else in there. I take off the page numbers because Atticus adds those, so I just remove the header, I remove the footer, remove both of those, and then so from here I will download it, and Atticus takes it as a Microsoft Word document. So I will just save it as a document here, and we'll put it in my downloads folder, Cardinal Accord, edited for Atticus. It's right there. I've already saved it, so we'll save it again, override it. Okay, so once that's done, I go into, there's no point in looking at it. It's going to look jumbled probably, but when I go into Atticus, I will go in and upload a book. You can sign into Atticus. There's my other books there. Upload a book, and then you want to upload the book here. We'll go grab it out of the documents folder right there. It's going to load in. I'm going to give it a name, the Cardinal Accord. I'm just going to name this one 2 because I've already got it in there. And I'm going to put my information. You can type it or select if it's already there. I don't have it on a project name. Go get them, Atticus. All right. So this may take a minute. So that's coming in. All right, so here we go. It dumps us into this edit page book details. So there's my title, there's that. You can give it a version just to help you out, so when you're editing, you'll know which one you're working on. And so I'm just gonna call this one test and go to publisher details. I would put my ISBN here. If it is a hardcover copy or a paperback, I'd put the ISBN here. eBooks don't really need an ISBN, so I'll leave that one blank. And then you can do a book detail, so I can upload an image here. This is this shows up on the, well, I'll just go grab one right quick. Right here, we'll do chord, and we'll just get, where's the cover? Where's that cover? Here they are. So I'll just get this cover. And so we'll upload the cover. And there it is. That's the new cover. And then you want to go to writing. And this will show you everything the way it pulled in. All right, so you'll notice right here that it took my title page and it created a whole page for that. And that's not needed. So I'm going to go ahead and immediately delete that one. And now chapter 1 is the day after. Perfect. All right, so let's look up here at the title page. So title page, that all looks good. Copyright. So it puts a copyright in here, but I have my own standard copyright that I use. And so I'll just go over, and I've got that saved in Google Docs, and so I'll just go ahead and copy that. Go back to Atticus and just put all that right here. And so that's got my copyright, my name, ISBN number. I'll put that there if it's paperback or hardcover. And this right here is just kind of a standard copyright. You can get that from anywhere. And then you can edit it the way you want to. We'll go to contents, and you'll see it automatically pulled in all my chapters. So I didn't have to type that. And there are no page numbers here, but if I go over here to preview, you'll see that it puts them all in here. And if I change this to print, and it will take a second to load, I'm sure. If you put it in print previewer mode, it shows you what it's going to look like in the print version. So that's loading up. It's probably going to take a minute because it's calculating this whole page size. So let that think for a minute. So another thing that I add is an additional title page. So while that's coming up, we'll look at that in a minute. I will go in down here where it says add new chapter, and you got the 3 dots. I can do that, and I can do title page. So this is a secondary title page that I do, and I will go right here. And if I leave it like that, well, there's the image. If I leave it like that, it's going to look just like this top one right here. You know, and that's not what I want. I want it to be my own custom one. So let me just drag that up here. I'm going to put that underneath the title page. And we'll go back to that one. I'm going to convert to full image because I want my own custom page right here that really tells about the book and what it is. From here, you can upload an image. And I'm going to pull a chord title page. I created that separately. I use Microsoft Publisher a lot just because I've used it for so many years that for quick things, it's easy to use. You may use Canva or Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop, whatever you use. That's what I use. And so I upload that. I'm going to let the margins be there. I want it in the center. And so that is that. It's still calculating this page type. That's my title page. Go back to copyright. All right, so now it's starting to show. That's what my copyright page looks like right here. Let me click on this so you can see it bigger. So that's my copyright page. And if I go up to contents, you'll see what the contents look like. There it is. All right, so contents, it puts the page numbers, automatically calculates the page numbers. So that's super easy. I don't have to go in and do that. It just does it automatically. So that's the contents. All right, so when I go into my chapters, it looks like it's not formatted, right? There's no indentions or anything like that, but it does do indentions. It's got this drop letter, and I don't particularly like that. So what I've done is if you go over here to formatting at the top, I took one of these and just started editing and making it the way I wanted it. And we'll go through those settings. I called it the TCP theme. And see how it took the drop letter away. It changed the font here and the way that shows up. And so I like that a lot. And let me go look at it and show you these settings. All right, so this is Protest Strike. That's the font that I went with for the chapter. I want them in the center. You know, I adjusted the size to where it looked the way I wanted to. It's important when you adjust the size to look at the preview of every chapter, because if you have a chapter that's got a long name, then it may run off the page, or it'll do like 2 lines or whatever, and so you want to make sure that that's not too big. And then that is my chapter title right there. And subtitles, chapter subtitles. I don't have any chapter subtitles in this book. You go to paragraph, that's where you turn off the drop caps or the lead in small caps. I don't want to do that. I like it showing up just like this, just normal. When to use the first sentence formatting. Beginning of the chapter. That's when I do it, at the beginning of the chapter. And the subsequent paragraphs are indented. So just as a general rule, when you're writing, the first paragraph of your chapter is not indented, and then the rest of them are. And Atticus will automatically indent the first paragraph after scene breaks too. So that takes care of that. Subheading, I don't have any subheadings, so I left all that alone. Scene break. If you want to use a custom scene break, asterisks, or a symbol, special symbol, you can do that. You just have to specify it here. I went with the standard, which is 3 asterisks. So when I'm writing my manuscript, anytime I do a scene break, I do 3 asterisks in the center on a new line, and that tells Atticus that that is a scene break. Notes, I didn't really do anything there because I don't have any of that stuff. Print layout. So weird thing in Atticus, and this one drove me absolutely crazy trying to figure it out. For some reason, whenever I would export my PDF, at the end of this video I'll show how to do that. Whenever I would export my PDF, it would do the craziest things. Like, for instance, on this line where it says was, it would do the W on this line and the AS down here on this line. It would just break that word in half. I don't know why. I couldn't figure it out. And I went in and I tried retyping the lines. I tried messing with all kinds of settings. And in the end, the fix was something simple yet stupid right here for the inside margins. Inside margin, outside margin. It's going to be automatically set to 0.875 and 0.5. For some reason, and this took hours to figure out, with lots of, I would have pulled my hair out, but I don't have any. I had to change these margins to something different. When I did, it changed my page count and everything because all the margins were different. I changed all that. It fixed the problem, but I didn't like the fact that it changed the amount of pages for my book, especially when I had already uploaded the book to KDP. And so if I uploaded a new one, it would change the page number and all that stuff, and I wanted it to be the same page count and all that stuff. So after changing it and it fixed the problem, I simply changed it back to this setting. It fixed the problem. Weird. Atticus, come on, what's the deal? Weird problem. But anyway, so all of that to say that I moved it, I changed it back, and that fixed that problem. Alignment justified. Widows and orphans. All right, so what is widows and orphans? All right, so let me see if I can find an example in this first chapter. All right, so let's say this scene break wasn't there, and just stay with me here. The scene break's not there, and this line is the last line on the page, so assuming it's here. All right, so if you turn on widows and orphans, then it will prevent this from happening. But what it does is, let's say that was the last line, it would put this on the next page. But if it was at the end of the chapter, that would be a page with just those 2 words on it and nothing else. Waste a lot of extra space. So what we did is we turn on widows and orphans, and now what you would see, if this was a good example, is that this entire line would be on the second page, as opposed to just this part. It keeps sentences together, going to the next page. That's what widows and orphans is. So I keep that on. Balanced page spread, best of both. I kind of experimented with those, and I just left it on Widows and Orphans. Everything that I looked at said that that was the best thing to do. All the forums and stuff said, hey, Widows and Orphans work good. Typography, you know, hey, this is the body. This is the font that's used here. And the font size, so that was pretty standard. I didn't really change that. So we'll leave that there. Definitely didn't want to do large print on this. Header and footer. All right, so this is the header and footer that I used. So you'll see author on the left, title on the right. So if I look at it, this is a right page. This is a left page. So in the upper left corner of your book, it will show page number and the author. And then in the upper right of the other page, it will show the name of the book and the page number. Let's see if I was to, well, I can't really do it with this preview, I don't think. Let me see. No. If I was looking at this with in 2-page spread, you would see it. It looks a lot better. Actually, I can show you right here. So this is the book, the first book, the Cardinal Accord. So you can see right here that it's got the page number and my author name in the top left corner. And then it's got the book name and the page number in the top right corner. So I like that. When I'm looking at the book, when I'm reading a book, I can easily look up there and see, oh, yeah, this is what I'm reading. So I like that. It's just another little thing that I like. So I selected this one for my template. And then trim sizes, very important. Depending on what size book you want to make, you've got to make sure this is right. So my books are 6x9, or at least this one is, these books. So I select 6x9 there, and you'll see the little dots here. So that just means, hey, it's supported by KDP or it's supported by IngramSpark. So I select that, and that's how I do that. And then I would save it. I'm not going to save it right now just in case I accidentally change something. All right, so once that's done, it's going to create the preview, and you can see that now the preview looks the way I wanted it. You know, everything looks good. All right, so now what else do I add? So let me go and down here, the last chapter, at the end of the last chapter, right here, I'm going to go there and I'm going to insert a page break. Now, after that page break, I will put in, and I'll just do, let's see, I will insert a, where's it at? Here we go. About the author. Let me insert about the author. That's right there. And then I also want to insert another page, also by. I always do about the author and also by. I want to make sure that that shows up on the very next page. You know, when you do chapters in the book, it lines it up so that your chapters are always on the right side of the page, which leaves the left side blank. I don't want that to happen when I do my about the author section. So here's my about the author. Hopefully I will do this right. Yep, so I'm going to go merge with the next chapter. All right. Now my about the author and my also by is on the same, in the same chapter. And I'm going to put a page break between the two of them. There we go. So now those are on two different pages. So there's my about the author. There's my also by. But what I don't want is this title that says about the author. I'd rather have my own. So I will go through here, say hide the chapter image, hide the chapter heading. It's still there. Not what I wanted. I want it gone. So highlight it, delete it. Let's see what that looks like. While that's doing that, I will go back to this last chapter because I want all of that to be together, not broken up, because you might have the end of the chapter, and then a blank page, and then about the author, and then a blank page, and then also by. And I want it all to be together, especially for the Kindle print version. So down here, let me delete that for, well, no, I'll leave that there. So there's a page break at the bottom. Now I'm going to go back here and click these three dots beside the last chapter, merge with next chapter. All right. Thinking. Now when I come down here, now I've got all these together. About the author, also by. They're on their own page. They're on their page, but they're going to be all together. So if I go here, as long as the preview loads, because the preview... All right, so it actually didn't break this up. Let me delete that. And let me go right here and insert my page break on that line instead. I think that might be it. Yeah, there we go. I just had my page break in the wrong place. You're going to start the page break here. So now when I get to the end of the book, I flip one page, and there's my about the author. I flip one more page, and there's my also by. And let me go up here, and I'm just going to open up one of my others that's done. And we'll do a cord, paperback version. We'll open up this one so I can show you what that actually looks like, rather than typing all that stuff in again. All right, so there's the last chapter we just looked at. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and so now you see author's note, and there's the also by. So I formatted mine a little bit different. As soon as this preview loads, I can show you exactly what it's going to look like. Important thing to do with your author's note is you want to point them to the next book in the series. So thanks for reading. Continue the story with Cardinal Prophecy, the next book in the Cardinal Patron series. And then here's a quick little blurb about that book. And I always format this blurb to be short enough that all of this author's note fits on one page. If it don't fit on one page, I change it because I don't want my links and stuff broken up, because this is the important part. You want them to be able to go find the series by going to this button, go to social media, sign up for a newsletter, those things in there, those engaging things. So here's what it looks like in the final version. So there's my author's note. You know, I did have to shorten this and rewrite it a few times to make sure it all fit. If this is the ebook version, these are actually live links. And then down here, this is the also by. This is the whole series. And again, if this was the ebook version, these three and that would all be live links, as you see here. So that takes you to my series page, and this will take me to book 1, book 2, book 3. I would almost suggest, because I didn't do this, I would almost suggest to make all of these links point towards the series page, because you never know where somebody is in the journey. But if they go to the series page, then they can see all three of them or any future books. So that's that. All right, so that's my also by my author's note. I got all my chapters in there. Now, we can go back up to formatting and export PDF. When you export PDF, it's going to think about it. Now, I can tell you that there's another video on my page, what I do after I export this PDF. It's not a final version, it's just a final version. And so I export this PDF and then I upload it into a program called Notability on my iPad so that I can read through it one more time. I use my Apple Pencil and I make final notes and final annotations and stuff. Then I would come back into Atticus, make those changes, and then do this export again. All right, so once it turns green, it's available to export. Here we go. We'll just save it there. It opens up. Here we go. I don't need all that. All right, so there's my PDF. There's my title page that I created. contents, and there's my chapters. And we'll go down and look at, there we go. There's my final page there. All of that looks good. I think it's slamming. All right. So after I go into Notability, and then come back here and make all these changes again, I'll do that export again, and that's my version that I submit to KDP or Books.by for the print version. Now, you'll see I have 3 of each book, right? One paperback, one hardcover, one ebook. That's because the hardcover and the paperback have 2 different ISBNs, and so rather than just changing that every time I export, if I make a change, I just get 2 documents going on. Hardcover, ebook, paperback. Ebook doesn't have an ISBN, all right? So that's how you export the hardcover and the paperback for PDF to upload. The only difference between the hardcover and the paperback is the ISBN. That's it. Otherwise, they're the same document. You don't have to resize or anything for that. It's still 6x9 on the inside. Now, when you're doing your cover, you have to change that. But for this, you don't. And then these thumbnails, I created these thumbnails just so that I could easily look on this screen and see, oh, this is hardcover, this is ebook, because you'll notice they all have the same name, right? As they should. This one says 2, but you see all these have the same name. So I do that just to help me out. All right, so let's go into eBook, because this is how you're going to export your ePUB to upload to KDP for the ebook. You'll notice when I go here, I want to go to my copyright page. On my copyright page, that line that said ISBN, it's gone. You don't need it for the ebook, at least not for KDP. And so I don't even have that in there. If I look at Edit Book Details, there is no ISBN listed in here. All right, so to download it, you can either come here to Edit Book Details, or you can go to Formatting, either one, and come down here and do Export ePUB. It's the same as exporting PDF. It saves it as an ePUB file. You save it, there it is. If you have a Kindle viewer or anything like that, then you can open it and then view it, look at it, and all that stuff. But you can also go here and view it from there, view the preview from there. So that's how I upload or how I download my manuscript onto Atticus. I make final edits there, how I format Atticus, and so that the books all look the same. Make sure you save your theme so that your books will all look the same, same format and all that stuff like that, especially for a series. Now, I may change that when I write outside of this series. I will probably change it to something different, but I want them all to look the same, feel the same. As you could see, the covers. So yeah, there's 3 books. Book 1, here's the classic logo of the team. Book 2, you'll see that the team is going through trouble because the logo is fractured, and then behind it you have this looming image that represents the villain, Quillian Valentine. And then in this one, our image is cleaned up because we've made some headway. And then we've got this book here because this book is all about the prophecy that ties back into the origins of this book and how the characters progress throughout this book and why all that happens, how it all happens, and that's in the prophecy. I'm writing this book right now. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a lot of things that I could have included in this one, but it would have made the book a lot longer. And so there was a story to tell in these 2 books that I wanted to get out before I export all that. So that's my 3 books. I want them to look the same, feel the same. You know, I want some familiarity there. When people pick up my books, they can easily see, oh yes, this is part of the Cardinal Patrons. So that's how I do those covers. I make all my covers myself, or at least I did these. I paid $5 to do it, and I chose 2 people on there, and I wasn't happy with it. Not to say they did a poor job, but it just wasn't what I was wanting. So that's how I edit my book in Atticus. Listen, if you have any ideas, or if you've used Atticus and you have some pointers, please comment below. I hope to continue making these videos just to help you guys out, so that you might not run into the roadblocks that I did when I was trying to figure all this stuff out. I spent a lot of time going to Facebook groups and searching and how did people deal with this, and asking questions, and that's all fun, but if you can find out how to handle that stuff without having to go through Facebook and doing all that stuff, then that's tops. So like and subscribe if you would, and comment below and let me know what you're doing, or if you have any questions, I would love to hear from you, and I will answer your questions, and if you have any good ones, I will make new videos to address how to do that. But this is how you get your book into Atticus so that you can upload it to KDP.